We are counting down the 7 cars that European mechanics actually choose for themselves. No luxury badges, just proven reliability. From cleverly simple city hatchbacks to the hybrids that dominate taxi fleets, these models all sidestep costly surprises and workshop drama. What do professionals trust when they want a car that simply works, year after year? Let us find out, starting with number 7. At number 7, the Suzuki Swift Hybrid stands out for one reason. It is engineered for simplicity, not spectacle. Mechanics who spend their days fixing turbo failures and chasing electrical gremlins see the Swift as a breath of fresh air. Its mild hybrid system runs on a compact 12-volt battery that assists the small, naturally aspirated engine during takeoff and stop-start traffic. There is no full electric mode, no complex battery cooling, and no high-voltage hardware to worry about. The result? Fewer things to go wrong, and a car that shrugs off city miles without complaint. In Bucharest, a local mechanic explained his choice like this: "My cousin's premium car bankrupted him after just 4 years. I bought the Swift because I know what fails, and this one doesn't." For him, the Swift's appeal is obvious. Routine repairs are limited to brakes and the occasional heating, ventilation, and air conditioning service. Not €2,000 of electronics or transmission jobs. Parts are cheap and widely available across Eastern Europe, and the simple drivetrain means less heat and stress compared to plug-in hybrids or turbocharged rivals. Even after years of daily use, major repairs are rare. The Swift's lightweight build and straightforward controls make it ideal for crowded cities and tight parking spaces. Owners report 5-year stints of reliability with little more than scheduled servicing and the odd set of tires. It is not flashy, and it will not win any drag races. But for mechanics who want a car that just works, without drama or surprise bills, the Swift Hybrid is the pragmatic choice that sets the tone for the rest of this list. Hyundai's i30 does not try to dazzle with cutting-edge tech or wild performance claims. Instead, it wins over mechanics with something far more practical, a manufacturer that stands behind its product long after the initial sale. Across the UK and Poland, workshop owners tell the same story. Cars arrive for routine servicing, not for major warranty headaches. The 5-year unlimited mileage factory warranty on the i30 is more than a marketing slogan. It covers the kinds of failures that would leave owners of other brands facing steep repair bills, from electronics to gearbox issues. For mechanics, that means fewer awkward phone calls to customers and faster turnaround times in the bay. Compared to rivals in the same class, the i30 posts lower ADAC, roadside call-out rates, especially for engine and transmission faults. Hyundai's conservative approach is clear under the bonnet. Naturally aspirated or lightly turbocharged engines, paired with simple automatics or manuals, avoid the high-stress components that fill up service bays elsewhere. One UK technician summed it up: "If something goes wrong, the dealer sorts it. Most jobs are oil changes and brakes, nothing that keeps a car off the road for days." This level of corporate backing is not just a safety net for owners, it shapes how mechanics see risk. When a car is covered for 5 years and the manufacturer actually honors claims without quibbling, out-of-pocket surprises all but disappear. That is why the i30 earns its place here, not just for what rarely breaks, but for how the company deals with the rare times it does. A Skoda Octavia in non-premium trim rarely sits idle in a workshop waiting for a part. Across Poland and Central Europe, mechanics point to one reason: the car's DNA is pure Volkswagen Group. Under the skin, it shares key components with the Volkswagen Golf and Passat, everything from brake calipers to control modules. This means that when something does wear out, a replacement is almost always just a phone call away. In Warsaw, an independent mechanic pulled up a recent invoice. A customer's Octavia needed a new alternator. The job was finished the same afternoon, with a part sourced locally for less than €200, no special order, no inflated dealer markup. This pattern repeats across borders. The Octavia's parts catalog is so widely stocked that even rural workshops can tap into the same-day supply chains that keep city garages moving. Central European suppliers compete for Volkswagen Group business, keeping prices low and wait times short. The result is a car that is cheap to own, not just because it is reliable, but because every common failure has a fast, affordable fix. Filters, sensors, and suspension arms all slot in from the same bins as higher volume Volkswagens, so markups stay modest. For owners, this means less downtime and fewer surprise bills, two things mechanics value above all. That's why the Octavia appears on so many personal shortlists, especially east of Berlin. It's not just about what breaks, but how quickly and cheaply you can get back on the road. When the difference between a €60 part and a €400 part comes down to badge engineering, mechanics know where their money goes. A UK MOT tester once trusted his daily commute to an Audi A3 until a dual-clutch gearbox failure left him stranded on the hard shoulder, waiting for a tow and facing a repair bill bigger than his savings. That experience ended his experiment with complexity. His next car was a Mazda 3 with a naturally aspirated Skyactiv engine and a manual gearbox. He is not alone. Across Europe, mechanics with access to every badge and powertrain keep circling back to the same formula: less stress, more miles, fewer surprises. Mazda's Skyactiv engines skip the turbochargers that dominate modern specification sheets. Instead, they use higher compression ratios and clever engineering to squeeze more out of every drop of fuel, without the heat and pressure that cook oil seals and stretch timing chains. The result is a drivetrain that shrugs off high mileage. In the 2024 TÜV inspection data, Mazda 3 models from the past decade show engine defect rates well below the segment average, with timing chain failures and oil leaks rarely appearing on the charts. For mechanics, that is more than a statistic. It is peace of mind. Manual gearboxes are another deliberate choice. While rivals chase ever faster shift times with fragile dual-clutch units, the Mazda 3's simple 6-speed manual avoids mechatronics and clutch pack failures entirely. Even the automatic option sticks to a traditional torque converter design, sparing owners invoices of €3,000 that come with DSG or PowerShift breakdowns. The physical controls, solid clicky buttons instead of touchscreens, mean fewer calls about frozen infotainment or dead screens. For buyers, the Mazda 3's strengths are not found in horsepower figures or lap times. It is the quiet confidence that comes from a car built to last, not just to impress. Mechanics who drive them say the same thing. It is not about excitement, it is about avoiding drama. That is why the Mazda 3 sits near the top of their lists, a car engineered for the long road, not just the specification sheet. In a small town outside Lyon, a French mechanic stands in his cluttered workshop, surrounded by the ghosts of failed infotainment systems and turbocharged engines that never made it past their 5th birthday. He points to his own car, a Honda Civic base model, naturally aspirated. After years of fixing premium brands with screens that went dark and gearboxes that slipped into oblivion, he decided he was tired of writing €2,000 in invoices for repairs nobody should face on a 4-year-old car. His Civic just needs oil, filters, and a timing belt every 100,000 kilometers. That is it. This story echoes across Europe. Among mechanics who know the true cost of complexity, the Civic's appeal is almost mathematical. Its engine family traces back decades, each new version building on proven designs instead of chasing power at the expense of durability. There is no turbo to overheat, no direct injection carbon buildup, and no dual clutch unit waiting to fail out of warranty. The valve train is old school but robust, with standardized service intervals that have not changed in years. For owners, this means every scheduled visit is predictable: oil, filters, spark plugs, and maybe a valve adjustment. No mystery bills, no frantic searches for rare parts. Owner forums and TÜV inspection data tell the same story. Civics regularly cross the 300,000 kilometers mark with little more than routine maintenance. In the latest TÜV reports, engine and gearbox defect rates for Civics, built after 2010, sit well below the European average, and timing chain or head gasket failures are statistical outliers, not the norm. Mechanics trade stories of Civics that survive 3 or 4 sets of tires before needing anything beyond basic service. Even the hybrid variants, while newer, stick to the same philosophy. Keep it simple, keep it reliable. For buyers, the Civic is not a statement car. It is the opposite, a tool engineered to avoid drama. Mechanics who drive them know exactly what they are getting. A car that starts every morning, shrugs off long commutes, and makes the cost of ownership something you can plan for years in advance. As the list climbs toward the very top, the Civic stands as the high watermark for combustion durability, one last, quiet champion of the naturally aspirated era before the proven hybrids take over. On the Autobahn outside Stuttgart, a TÜV-certified master mechanic loads his family and luggage into a Toyota RAV4 hybrid. He is not thinking about horsepower or badge appeal. He is thinking about the 900 kilometers ahead, the August heat, and the simple question of whether his car will let him down. For mechanics with families, the RAV4 hybrid is the answer they trust, trip after trip. Unlike turbocharged SUVs and plug-in hybrids that pack complexity under the bonnet, the RAV4 hybrid relies on Toyota's proven eCVT system, a planetary gear set paired with 2 electric motors and a naturally aspirated engine. There is no clutch pack, no belt, and no stepped gears to wear out. Instead, the transaxle uses fewer moving parts than a traditional automatic, reducing friction and heat. This matters when you are hauling kids, camping gear, and bikes across Europe, summer after summer. Thermal management is another quiet advantage. The hybrid battery sits under the rear seats, cooled by its own dedicated fan and vent system. Even in stop-and-go traffic or alpine climbs, the system keeps cell temperatures stable, protecting the battery's chemistry for years. Mechanics who see failed hybrid packs from other brands, often due to overheating or poor airflow, know the difference this makes. In TÜV inspection data, RAV4 hybrids post some of the lowest battery and inverter defect rates among family SUVs, even past 150,000 kilometers. Roadside assistance statistics back up the workshop stories. In ADAC's 2024 breakdown report, the RAV4 hybrid appears near the bottom of the call-out charts for engine, gearbox, and electronics faults. Across Germany, France, and the UK, mechanics confirm what the data shows. The eCVT hybrid system rarely throws warning lights or leaves owners stranded. One German mechanic put it plainly, "I see turbo SUVs come in with €2,000 in gearbox repairs. My RAV4 just gets oil and filters. That is why I trust it for my family." The RAV4 hybrid is not the cheapest car to buy, and it is not the flashiest. But for those who fix cars for a living, it represents something rare, a mid-size SUV that shrugs off heavy use, bad weather, and long commutes without drama. Its slightly higher complexity compared to the Corolla keeps it from the very top spot, but in the world of family haulers, it is the hybrid benchmark mechanics are willing to spend their own money on. Toyota's Corolla hybrid tops the list, not because it's the most exciting car on the road, but because it's the model most frequently found in the driveways of working mechanics across Europe. The evidence runs deeper than just personal preference. It is written in the numbers. This pattern points to reliability. In Warsaw, a taxi operator who once ran a fleet of diesel sedans made the switch to Corolla hybrids in 2022. The impact was immediate. Annual repair costs for the entire fleet dropped from €15,000 to just €4,000, and the days lost to unexpected breakdowns nearly vanished. Drivers reported fewer late-night call-outs, and passengers stopped complaining about missed pickups. For a business built on reliability, the Corolla hybrid delivered exactly that. These results are not limited to one city or one company. Across Germany, France, and the UK, independent mechanics point to the same pattern. Corolla hybrids consistently post some of the highest pass rates in TÜV inspections, even as mileage climbs past 100,000 kilometers. A DAC's breakdown statistics reinforce this reputation. In the most recent tables, Corolla hybrids are among the least likely vehicles to require roadside assistance for engine, gearbox, or electronics issues. Where turbocharged rivals and plug-in hybrids start to show their age, the Corolla Hybrid keeps its place at the quiet end of the workshop. Much of this resilience comes down to Toyota's conservative approach to hybrid technology. The drivetrain pairs a naturally aspirated petrol engine with an electric motor and an ECVT transmission. There is no clutch to wear out, no belts to snap, and no turbocharger to cook itself under the strain of daily commutes. The hybrid battery, long a worry for skeptics, rarely features in repair logs. Dedicated cooling and proven cell chemistry keep replacement rates well below the industry average, even in high-mileage taxis. The result is a simple, robust setup. Mechanics also point to the Corolla's predictable running costs. Scheduled servicing is straightforward: oil, filters, brake pads, and little else. There are no surprise bills for failed infotainment modules or complex emissions gear. When a repair is needed, parts are widely available and reasonably priced. This keeps downtime short and invoices manageable. 2 reasons why so many workshops trust the Corolla Hybrid for personal use. Resale is another quiet advantage. On the used market, a Corolla Hybrid with 100,000 kilometers still holds about 70% of its original value. Dealers and private buyers know what they are getting: a car with a track record for shrugging off abuse and keeping its promises. For mechanics who see the full lifespan of modern vehicles, that resale strength is a sign of genuine confidence, not just marketing spin. One German technician summed up the appeal: "I fix timing chains and turbo seals on other brands every week. With my Corolla, it's just oil and tires. I'd rather spend my weekends at home than in the garage." For buyers, the checklist is clear. Look for a model with a full service history, stick to the recommended maintenance intervals, and do not worry about battery life. Real-world data shows these hybrids keep going long after rivals falter. The Corolla Hybrid is not flashy, but it delivers the kind of low-drama ownership that mechanics value above all. That is why it stands alone at the top of this list, the car trusted most by the people who know what happens when things go wrong. Across all 7 choices, one truth stands out: the more complex the car, the greater the risk for owners. Mechanics, who see every failure firsthand, choose simplicity and proven engineering over prestige. In a market obsessed with features, real peace of mind comes from reliability, not badges. For anyone buying a car today, that is the lesson worth trusting. What is your take? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.